Very good morning, students. Today we will see the important questions which are asked in Viva by an examiner, during the practical examination. So if you are given the mandible by the examiner, he may ask many questions because it is an important bone for the Viva point of view. He may begin with the question that how you will identify ramus and mandible of the ramus and the body of the mandible. Ramus, that means what is that demarcation line which differentiate between the ramus and the body of the mandible. Your answer should be that we will draw an imaginary line from the anterior margin of the anterior border of the ramus of the mandible, which go downwards and cuts the mandible here like that, as I have drawn here in this blue color. So this is an imaginary vertical line. Anterior to it will lie the body of the mandible, and posterior to it this quadrilateral area of the bone is called as the ramus. So you can say that this is the ramus and this is the mandible. Then he can ask you a simple question: what are the surfaces, borders of the mandible? Surfaces and borders of the body of the mandible. Body of the mandible. You can say that there is an upper border which is also called as the alveolar border, where the mandibular teeth of the lower jaw are attached. So this is the lower border of the mandible, which is also called as the base, along with the lower border of the ramus. So this is the base of the ramus, is the lower border of the mandible. Then you can tell him that this is the external surface of the mandible, where there is presence of the mantle foramina, and this mantle foramina is present just below the second premolar teeth. Second premolar teeth is the level of the mantle foramina. Then there may be, you can demarcate a line here extending from the anterior margin of the ramus and going below that of the mantle foramina. This is called as the oblique line. This is the oblique line, and this oblique line gives attachment to the buccinator muscle. It gives attachment to the so this is that oblique line on the external surface. So this will be the description of the external surface of the body of the mandible. Then you have to show him the internal surface of the body of the mandible. The mandible. And this internal surface of the mandible is having a mylohyoid line. That means this raised line is that obliquely running raised line, which I am drawing here with the blue color. This raised line, obliquely running line, is called as the mylohyoid line because it gives attachment to the mylohyoid muscle on either side of the body of the mandible. Then you can show him that on the inner aspect near the symphysis manti, which is the midline structure, there are two pair of tubercle on either side of the median plane, superior genial and inferior genial tubercle. The superior genial tubercle, he may ask which muscle is attached to here. You can say that this gives attachment to the genioglossus, which is the main muscle of the extrinsic muscle of the tongue, while the lower genial tubercle gives attachment to the geniohyoid muscle. It gives attachment to the geniohyoid muscle. There may be two depression which he can ask just above the mylohyoid line. This is the sublingual fossa, where the sublingual gland is related, and below the mylohyoid line near the base or the lower border is another concave fossa here, and this gives it is in relation to the submandibular gland. It is. So almost this will complete the viva on the body of the mandible. Okay, then he may come to the ramus, and he may show me the borders, surfaces, and the process of the ramus. So we had already separated the ramus and body. So then you should concentrate and give answer to him that there is borders are 4. There is an anterior border of the ramus. Write this border is the anterior border. This is the posterior border of the ramus. If you will trace the anterior border of the ramus upward, this is continuous with the coronoid process. It is continuous with this triangular process is called as coronoid. And if you will continuous with the posterior border of the ramus upward, this is the head of the mandible, okay, or the condylar process. So this is coronoid process and this is the condylar process. Then there is an upper border, and this upper border is a notch-shaped border. This border we are talking of. It is a notch-shaped border, and this is the upper border, okay. This may sometime be called as mandibular notch, okay. Now then there is a lower border, which is the part of the base of the mandible, okay, the lower border of the ramus behind this vertical imaginary line which we had drawn here. So these are the 4 borders are here. And then you can ask about the surfaces. You can say that this is the external surface and this inside is the internal surface of the mandible, okay. This is the internal surface where there is presence of a foramina called as the mandibular foramina, and just from the mandibular foramina downward going, well, this groove is called as the mylohyoid groove, and through this groove, okay, passes the mylohyoid nerves and vessels, okay. And just above this mylohyoid groove, this ridge you can see, this is the mylohyoid ridge which I have already described. Now this mylohyoid line, it gives attachment to the mylohyoid muscles, okay. Now then, coming back to this mandibular foramina, there is a projection, bony projection, which is not seen properly on this side as well as on this side. But there is a bony projection which is rudimentary here, or not well developed. This bony projection seen in the other bones will be called as the lingula or the lingual process, and this lingula gives attachment to a ligament called as the sphenomandibular ligament. Now what passes through this mandibular foramina is the inferior alveolar nerves and vessels. Then he can ask me to ask you to show the process of the ramus, okay. Then you can show there are 2 processes, the coronoid process and the condylar process. The head of the mandible is also called as condylar, and this anterior triangular process is called as the coronoid process is here. If you will see the the anterior aspect of the condylar process or the head of the mandible, just below that in front of the neck there is a depression, and this depression is called, see here it is better here on this side, it is called as the pit or the pterygoid fovea. This is known as the pterygoid fovea, and this is for the attachment of the lateral pterygoid muscle, okay, lateral. I hope that these are the questions which are usually asked in the bony features of the mandible. The next video will be on the various relations of the blood vessels, nerves, glands, okay, in relation to that of the mandible, including the ligaments. Thank you very much for watching this video.